Hello there, Big Benedict here. We're playing Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge on the PC, and this is my Ultimate Ninja Difficulty Gaiden walkthrough. We're currently on day 5 of 8, and it is the Ninja Village. So this is a very difficult chapter for very bad reasons, which I'll get into, and it's my least favorite chapter of all the chapters, or days. I have my Lunar upgraded to level 2. I intend to upgrade it to level 3 by and by. I intend to upgrade my Dragon Sword to level 3, my Kasarigama to level 2, and then after that buy as many health upgrades as possible. But remember when I said that you have 5 health upgrades? Well, the last health upgrade is 1,000,000, so if you're running short on money, you really only have 4, not 5 of the extra health healing items. But I wanted to use the Lunar here to do a different method of combat. Not with Steel on Bones, obviously, because this thing can't do that. But that doesn't mean you can't accrue ki from doing the Steel on Bone-esque moves. And I'd like to use the Flying Swallow into OT on the archers to gain as much ki as possible from them. And switching over to the Scythe now, this is, again, to build up as much ki as possible. I'm trying to build up enough ki so that I can use my True Inferno, or have enough so that I nearly have enough of my True Inferno. Oh, did you see that? You can do I didn't know that. Maybe I did, but I forgot about it. You can do a Y counter attack with the Jinran Maru, and after that, you can press XX in the air, XXY in the air, and he'll do the Izuna drop off that, just like in Sigma 2 and in Ninja Gaiden 2 Vanilla. So I was shocked that they actually had that in this game. One move that I really deplored that they took out is the Flying Swallow into Izuna drop with the Talons. That was like one of the more fun moves you can do in the game, if not the funnest, or most fun, perhaps is the correct grammatical syntax there. But this is a skippable fight, so if you don't want to do this fight, just run through the little gap in between the rocks, and you won't have to do this fight. I wouldn't recommend it though, because then you'll be missing out on all the karma you accrue during the fight, and also all of the bonus points that you may see coming into your pool of resources post fight. Unfortunately, we have 2 Vangels, actually 2 pairs of Vangels, 4 in total. So did that do any motherfucking thing to those guys? Because I don't think it did. It did a little flashy, aesthetic, but it didn't seem to do jack all shit. And that fucking pisses me off, because I hate these enemies. But why do I hate the enemies? Why do I hate... well, let's not talk about the Vangels, because you know my feelings on the Vangels. They're overpowered, they're ridiculous, they have too much HP. But I hate the ninjas on this game, because on Ultimate Ninja, they block everything. They block everything. So if you find that fun, that's great. But I don't find it fun when an enemy blocks all the time on me. It's just not fun, and it's boring, even worse. So what I instead do is I try to do eviscerations and then Steel on Bones on ninjas. I'm telling you, they block everything. They block every goddamn fucking thing. It's not fun. When you make a game, the difficulty doesn't mean that it can't be fun, but they failed at that, because this difficulty is not fun, whereas they could have made it fun. I have some separate footage over here as well. because I exited the game a couple times and came back and did certain of these scenarios. There's a checkpoint right up here. Actually, no, there's not a checkpoint, but there's a spawn point right there, folks. And then when you push up a little bit more, you can spawn that next checkpoint. Falling back is actually really helpful over here. You can guillotine throw these guys off the side of the mountain if they're bloodied and if you have the guillotine throw, which I don't have, because I just don't want to waste however much that costs when I'm trying to upgrade my weapons. So do you see how one is restricted from doing a lot of what he wants while he plays the game, you know, because the upgrades are one of the most important things. And I know the basic moves are also important too, but they shouldn't be moves that you have to buy in the first place. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Okay, so after this last one over here, you will be getting a checkpoint. And you've got a bum rush coming up to you over here. What I mean by that is enemies on all sides of you shooting rocket launchers, enemies in the distance by the bridge shooting their shit at you. So falling back is actually the best thing to do. And if I don't fall back, it's because I did this on another take. But yeah, fall back. Yeah, okay, I fall back. I fall back as much as possible. So you want to clear up all these guys, and you will be attacked from the rear over here, I believe, by more attack ninjas at some point if you go back this way. Now I'm getting quite mauled over here, but I'm using my meditation to bait them into grabbing me, which will give me more ki and more health. Take the bait. He took it. That's all we need. All we need for him to do is to take the bait. See, we got more of it there. And after this fight, though, as long as you get the score sheet, you get a checkpoint. So on these, you do have explosive arrows at this point, so you can snipe them with explosive arrows. And I think it takes about 5 explosive arrows to kill them. And that's a lot better than trying to go up to them and dealing with their perpetual blocking of everything that you try to do, you know, to them. See, they just block everything, and it's ridiculous. He was bloodied, so I got an Azuna drop, but only because he was bloodied. And then over here, jump up a few steps, and then you've got you got a strange situation here where you've got mages that meet you on the level of the bridge, and then you've got mages that are circulating up in the air where you can't reach them. So I really have no idea what the idea here was for the developers and what they were thinking. Do they want you to use the bow to shoot the ones out here? I presume, because I just dropped that one and he went into the abyss. Also, you get pincered right here. So fall back, you'll see a couple attack ninjas, or maybe just one. Hide behind this rock. First of all, kill these ones as fast as you can, go in for your OTs, and then fall back as fast as you can back here, because you might not be able to see it, but we've got a trio of, and it might not necessarily be a trio, but we've got several claw ninjas coming up, but they take so long because they're at the other side of the bridge. But by the time these guys reach you, you should have plenty of time to have dealt with those tack ninjas. And I think this is a dynamic sequence in that if you don't destroy the guy with the rocket launcher at the end of the bridge, you'll have to do some kunai climbing. Since I don't like that, I decided to forego that because I don't want to partake in something that I don't enjoy in, or rather enjoy. So I think there's a pair of the rocket launcher guys down here. And then once this is clear, you will get another checkpoint. I believe. I'm not 100% sure. So take that with a grain of salt. I'm not sure. But there aren't many enemies left. But the enemies that are left are the bitchy ones. These guys with the rocket launchers. So going for your charges. Going for eviscerations, steel on bones. What I mean by eviscerations, folks, is sever a limb. That's an evisceration in my lingo, my Vic Benedict parlance, and eviscerate, bait them into grabbing you, steel on bone, OT where you can. And this guy giving me a bit of a problem. And we've got a mage coming into the forefront over here. And then we've got this guy, but since I mentioned it only takes about 5 explosive arrows, he'll go down. That only took 2. Maybe he had damage on him. Okay, so we're going to go up a little bit, because I think there are more enemies. Yeah, just this sack of shit here. He's dead. And then to get to the Test of Valor, you slide under this passageway. And then you'll see the crystal skull up there. Interact with it. Do the challenge. And then we'll move on. I hope I wasn't too harsh on the game and, bearing my criticisms to the community about this game. But it truly is not fun to play, and especially with enemies blocking constantly. That's fine, but I know that there are a lot of other people and gamers who play this game who really like this game, or if they don't like it, they are at least good at it, and they don't subscribe to the same playstyle that I do. They don't particularly go for steel on bones. They do a lot of fancy, I don't know how else to say it, just fancy gameplay. I saw this one user called Iconoclast, and if you want to see a much better player at this game than I am, definitely check his channel out, because I can only ever hope to be, one fraction of as good as that guy is. He's terrific at this game, and he plays in a very unique play style where he doesn't do steel on bones very often, or UTs or things like that. He's just better than I am, and I'm perfectly fine with other people being better than I am. I have no ego about it, and when I play this game, I just like to play it the way I like to play it. And that's it. I don't respect this game enough to want to branch out and learn different play styles and have more diverse gameplay and things like that, especially on a walkthrough that someone's going to be watching for the first time. If anyone watched like Iconoclast's videos for the first time, if they were using his videos for a first time Ultimate Ninja Guide walkthrough, they would have trouble emulating his strategies, because he's so talented at the game. Whereas I'm trying to bring more strategies that can be imitated quite easily and replicated, so that people who are playing this difficulty for the first time can have a less arduous time through Ultimate Ninja, because let's face it, it's a very difficult proposition. Ultimate Ninja difficulty is. And that's not to say that just because I'm making a beginner's walkthrough, I should not play well. That's not true at all. I play as well as I have a mind to play, and as well as my fingers and my hands and my dexterity with those appendages can produce. So down here we've got some claw ninja, and then we've got some snipers, usual fare. And yeah, this chapter just really gets me going as far as hatred, just pure hatred, because of the fact that these enemies are so block happy. I don't. It could still be challenging, and they don't have to be so guard happy, because let's take Ninja Gaiden 2, or even Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, or Sigma 2. those enemies could be severed quite easily, and the game was still hard. You know, it was undeniably difficult. All three of those versions are. You know, I'm not talking about people who've played those games 50 times. I'm talking about people who are coming to those games, you know, for the first, second, or third time, and, you know, they're trying to get through it again, and maybe they haven't played it for a while, and they're coming back to it after a long stretch away from it. But I just think that this game strikes a poor balance between being overly difficult with enemies and, you know, having their guards so strong and being so resilient to not being able to find you know, a happy medium between enemies that can be dismembered easily, not maybe not easily, but with less effort, and still have a game that is, you know, for all intents and purposes, challenging to most folks. So we do have a what's it called? A Grip of Murder section after this, and I will be going there with Full True Inferno, and I believe I cast it right away, and you're gonna have, I believe, these enemies to fight. These ones here, and possibly mages. Yeah, I believe it's all of the enemies that you fight on this fight. You'll fight them in the Grip of Murder section coming up. And I did restart a couple times because I wanted to get the S, but I still got the S even though my health was kind of low. Let's see, is this going to usher us into it? Looks like we've got one guy left. So here's the Grip of Murder. We have the Scython. I am going to be upgrading the Kasarigama to level 2. Why not level 3? Well, you can only upgrade so many things to level 3 in this game before the game is over because, you know, $800,000 is the cost for a level 3 weapon. So you really got to choose what you want, and you can't have all of them upgraded, really. So I really don't know. I want to upgrade the Lunar because I like the playstyle of it, but I do realize that if you're using the Lunar, guys, it's less lucrative for earning karma. It truly is. It builds ki really well, and in general, it offers you a playstyle that you really can't get from any other weapon. So definitely try your hand at it. So we're almost done with the Grip of Murder section here, and I mentioned that my health wasn't too high here, so I'm wondering if I get damaged over here or not. We'll have to just have a look here and see what happens. Maybe I don't get damaged too much by these guys. Maybe I do. Yeah, I do. So look at my health. It's quite low. It's like half. Well, maybe not half, but ordinarily you would never get the S rank for health like that, but seeing as how it's a Grip of Murder sequence, things are probably a little differently judged. Oh, here's our slow walking trek through the what is it called? The Hayabusa Ninja Village from the original game. And it looks like we have 500,000 in karma. And I do upgrade my Kasarigama to level 2 by the next save point. And I also pick up the remaining basic moves. I pick up the 4 rings as well as the guillotine throw. So day 5 we're picking up the guillotine throw. Seems a little bit late, but it is 100,000 karma. So I didn't want to pick that up right away. But this is nostalgic. I mean, this game does have nostalgia to it. I mean, in an earlier chapter, I think it was it chapter 4? when we fought the dinosaur, it had that fossilized dinosaur exhibit in the museum. That was a throwback to the original game. On this, all you have to do is just hold the aimer over the first target until the second target appears. Excuse me. And you can target two things at once. It's a new upgrade for the bow. And then we have the next section. So yes, I purchased the Kasarigama level 2. The move that I like is called the Demon Cutter. It's forward Y. And traditionally, it works on the same conceit as I mentioned in the first video, where enemies are less resilient to guillotine throws, flying swallows that end in head severs, what's it called? Beheadings, excuse me. And then, of course, the guillotine throw and such like that. They're less resilient, I say, if they're bloodied. So I believe it works the same with the Demon Cutter. If enemies are bloodied, but don't take this as gospel, if enemies are bloodied, you can more reliably do the Demon Cutter, which is just forward Y, and it drags the enemy over to you and cuts off one of his appendages. I'm not sure what appendage it is. And then you have the remaining enemy to OT. I do it over here eventually. Here we go. There's the Demon Cutter. And I think after you sever the appendage, you can't just press Y to execute, because I think the body is far away from you to the point where you have to dash over to it. I could be wrong about that, though. Here's the Demon Cutter again. It's a fantastic move. I like doing that move on the Sword Alchemists because it works fast and it's a tough enemy to deal with ordinarily. But to have that move is handy because it efficiently and quickly has done with that enemy. So over here you've got some attack ninjas. Once you kill one, you'll have some Van Gelfs spawning in here. I think there's a total of 4. And the 360Y with the Kasarigama does some pretty good de-limbing. And I think that's about it for the Kasarigama. I don't think I'll upgrade it to level 3, folks. And if I do, I'll have to only upgrade one other weapon to level 3 because that's going to cost me 800,000. So that leaves me with the choice of the Dragon Sword or the Jinran Maru, however you want to say it, or the Lunar. Whereas if I think about it, I would rather upgrade the Lunar and the Jinran Maru and just leave this weapon at level 2. I only mentioned being able to upgrade only one weapon to level 3 besides what we have if I did upgrade the Kasarigama to level 3. But the Steel on Bones with the Kasarigama has just as much range, maybe even more than the Scythe does, because you're using this sickle that's on a long chain, and it has a lot of reach to it, just like the Scythe does. So you don't need to be particularly close to enemies to pull them into you and hit them and be able to include them in Steel on Bone chains. So we have a safe Falcon over here to take advantage of. And I probably won't be using the dual katanas. I do apologize about that. Probably won't be using the Falcon's Talons. Don't miss the SCARAB over here. And then we have a fight, which is a 2-segment fight where you kill some enemies, and then the boss, I believe, the boss uses her black magic to resurrect the corpses. and then you'll be dealing with those. When those corpses spawn next to you and start animating and get up, you'll notice that they do flash red, so you can get a parry off them if you like. I would recommend doing that because it's always consistent, and you don't have to worry about going in for a potential parry that never comes. So there is that. The only other thing, since we are using, not really using, but since we're accompanied by another character here, you notice that we've been fighting with Momiji. Sometimes your Steel on Bones might fail because of the fact that during this, these dynamic sequences with Momiji, she could be doing one thing, and then she could be doing something else 1 second later that might compromise your Steel on Bone. Did you know what happened right there? I knew that fucking bastard was gonna do the flashing red, but I just got an input fail, and I know that it was a fail and not a fail on my part because I clicked in the buttons to evade out of the way, and I still got grabbed, so it was an input fail. I think we just have one guy left over here. The boss is fairly simple. On this, you're rocking the analog stick back left and right, left to right, left to right, left to right, or vice versa, and then tapping X simultaneously. The only reason I'm mentioning that is because I don't have the QuickTime events on the screen. I like the simplicity and the cleanliness of not having them on the screen. You can use the 360Y to hit this orb here, which is not really an orb, but it's a wart on her arm. So when you see it glow red, you can attack it, and use 360Y here. Even when the camera pans up, just even if you are off camera, keep swinging that 360Y off camera, and it will lock you into the QuickTime event where you're tapping Y to sever that wart or pop it, what have you. So when you are doing that, if you were going to stop using the 360Y, it would have you use your bow to shoot the target that was on her palm, and that would prevent you from getting damaged, or maybe it's a fail state. I'm not sure what it is. And I'm also not sure if that 360Y that I was doing requires you to have the scythe to level 3, to get it all the way to that end phase where you're done with damaging it and you're going in for the QuickTime event. Okay, here's the second and final segment. You got these. I don't know what they're called. They're just critters and critter fiends. I have no clue. But you're going to be hitting this wart here, and then it's going to do this attack, and it looks like you're supposed to hit it with the bow. But you don't get a target reticle when you use the bow, so that tells me that you're not supposed to use the bow there. So what did I do did I avoid damage there? I can't remember. I'll have to rewatch that. But I did can't remember the name of it now. It's left trigger plus A. It's that iframes evasion. And what happens here is Momiji puts up a shield so that Ryu can continue hitting the wart, but the boss retaliates by summoning up these claws to attack your characters. And since Momiji is grabbed, the shield lowers, and you're going to have to fend for yourself. Well, not really, because you still have her. You're going to have to continue what you were doing without the safety of her shield. So it was a nice idea, Momiji, but it didn't pan out, and we were once again propelled into that cutscene. And that is it for the boss, and that is it for day 5. And I can't say that it went too fast, that it went by too fast, that I was having too much fun because it didn't go by fast and I wasn't having fun on this chapter. I didn't care for this chapter. I don't care for it in general, and I don't care for the enemies. And if I'm going to be completely honest, I don't really care for this game. It doesn't make me happy the way the other games do. But don't get me wrong about that. It's still worthy of playing. It's just that it takes a lot to make me happy with these types of action games, and this game falls short by a large margin. So it has a lot to tally up on the side of it being a inferior experience. Anyway, I will see you on day 6, and until you and I see each other there, please continue to take care.